Joy says, I have custody of my 11, almost 12-year-old grandson. I'm having trouble helping him calm down when he's approaching a meltdown. I see it coming and I start using my soft directive tone, reminding him to breathe and giving simple directions, but he absolutely fights me and tells me he can't calm down. I sometimes walk away and give him space or time or offer hugs, but nothing is working. I try to catch it early, but I'm failing. Any suggestions?
Yeah, so this is earlier we talked about executive functioning and how the prefrontal cortex of your brain's growing. It's the same area, emotional regulation, self-regulation. When the child's already escalating, it's pretty much too late to stop it. Because anything that you start to say to him is seen as a demand. And so his system's already just in kind of emotional or intense as it is already. So anytime, just think about the way you feel. If you're already escalating emotionally and just one person says something really minor to you, it just becomes more agitated. It's the same way for him. So what I usually do with these kids is when they're not in the middle of a behavior, when it's just like a normal calm day, I'll sit, and that's the time to talk about it, because that's the time when the child, if they're able to identify what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what actually happened during that time, they're able to communicate more of what needs they have. So like when they're not in the middle of it, they're not even close to it, and you're able to say like, okay, let's make a plan. The next time you start to escalate, what should I do? What do you want done? And like what things bother you the last time that this was happening. And it can be anything from like when you start talking, it just makes me not be able to do more. Or okay, so if you're not talking, how should I talk to you? And we've had lots of kids in our clinic when we make a plan ahead of time and say like, okay, is it hard for you to talk when you're upset like that or you're getting upset? And the kid says yes. Then I'm like, okay, should I write something down for you? Is that easier for you? Do you want to try that? Like, do you want to just, hand me a card that says I need a break right now, or I need to go to my room, or like I ask them, when you start to escalate and we're at home, where should you be? Because let's make a plan. So I've had kids be like, when I go to my yellow chair, leave me alone, And so they start to escalate and I'll say like, why don't you go to your yellow chair? And since it's his plan anyway, because when you get the kids so that they can help make this plan of what to do when they start to escalate, then they actually do follow through more, and then you'll avoid some of this emotional meltdown because you have a plan, and they know what your plan is too because they were there making it with you, and their likes and dislikes are embedded in, but also they know like, okay, this is something that I can do, that I was a part of, that I can get myself to, so that I don't escalate to the point of having a meltdown or, punching someone. I mean, we've done this with a lot of kids, and, you just have to kind of go through every aspect and make sure that when you're making your plan, like, where do you want to be? What bothers you? What helps you? And a lot of times they don't know what helps them and what bothers them. So it's you providing information like, me talking, does that bother you? Is it hard for you to find words to tell me what's going on when you're starting to get upset? Like, where do you want to be? Does, light bother you when you're, getting upset? Would you prefer to be in a dark, cool place when you're hot? Okay, so if we know you're hot, part of what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you some cold water when you go, to your corner, like just whatever it can be to, so there's a lot of like choices, and there's a lot of discussion too during this time. And that's why it's important not to do it during the middle of a meltdown, and not to link it back to a specific meltdown, because that becomes negative too. If you're always going back and talking about a specific time when something happened, you're just trying to talk in general. And if you can get this plan in place and write it out or put it out visually the way that he understands it, he will follow it. And you might have to prompt it a little bit to happen, but you'll see that he'll start to escalate because everything that is bothersome will have been removed, or like attempted to be removed, aside from like maybe the issue that you can't do anything about. But when you get all this input from him to make a plan, and he owns the plan because he's had input in it, and he's not in the middle of an emotional meltdown, and he's able to tell you what his needs are, then a lot of times this is the way to escalate. And the thing is, you also have to prepare, like if you're saying, okay, I'm going to set a timer, or I'll give you 10 minutes and then I'm going to come check on you because I need to make sure you're okay. And if I come to you and you still need time, what are you going to say to me? I need to know what you say. Like, so they really have some control aspect too of it. So they're able to not have to think about the words to tell you that they need more time, but to have a script to just say, like, you know what, I need more time right now. I need 5 more minutes. And you can map it all out, and it always works.
And Evelyn, they are loving all this advice for this. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.